So I was just informing and I was just giving you information about IELTS listening because you guys gonna kick in today the IELTS listening test section. Before kicking in, you must have the information or understanding about the listening tips. You got a 4 section in listening: section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. Remember one thing, that in 2 sections you got a monologue speech. Monologue means that one person will be talking and you got to listen. Like I am talking right now, I'm not getting you involved in conversation. So this is the monologue. So you will listen to 2 monologue. 2 sections you got more than 2 people talking each other. In every section you got a different kind of accent. Sometimes American, sometimes New Zealand, sometimes Australian. Remember one thing, that Australian New Zealand accent is very difficult and hard to pick at one go, so you got to be very accurate on the money in order to understand, because what generally happens that if you do not understand the accent, it does create a problem. So you got a 4 section. Now what is the important thing? What is the strategy to get 7 band in listening? Very simple. First 2 sections are very easy, very simple. Like that 2 water, you can get it 20 out of 20. If you get 20 out of 20 in first 2 sections, you get 5 band in first 2 sections. If you, let's say, do not get the 20 in first 2 sections, then job becomes a little bit difficult, because next 3rd and 4th section, you definitely have scientific based, research based, or academic based kind of, the listening. In these 2 sections, we got academic, research based, you got a very difficult kind of conversation as well. So you definitely come across the different kind of conversation and the text and the vocabularies and everything. So you have a more chances to make more mistake in 3rd and 4th section. So what is your strategy? Get 20 out of 20 in first 2 sections. Once you come on the 3rd and 4th section, let's say, for example, that you mess up in 3rd and 4th section and you, let's say, make 10 mistakes out of 20. Even then you can score 30 question correct, because if you get a 30 question correct, you can get it easily 7 band you listen, provided if you get 20 out of 20 in first 2 sections. So your whole listening test based on revolved around the 2 things. In fact, you got to get 20 out of 20 in first 2 sections. The moment you get 20 out of 20 in first 2 sections, you become a little bit safer, right? Because in first 2 sections you got 20. Now when you come to the 3rd, 4th section, presume that you make 10 mistakes or maybe 8 mistakes, maybe 7 or maybe 6, right? Even then you can hit almost 34, 36, right? 34, 36 straight at a 7.5 or 8 band, right? So remember one thing, that in listening, you got to get 20 out of 20 in first 2 sections if you really want to kill in 7 more than 7 band. Once you come on a 3rd and 4th section, if you make 3, 4, 5 mistakes, even 7 mistakes, even if you make 7 or 8 right, you can manage to get easily 7 band when you listen. So you need to keep it in your mind that you are not supposed to make too many mistakes in first 2 sections. Reduce your mistake in first 2 sections. If you make it, let's say, 7 or 8 mistakes even in your next 2 sections, you can clinch quite easily 7 band. Now what next, which is so important, right? 4 section, 40 minutes, let's say, and 40 question. 1 question carrying the 1 mark. So calculation you need to have on your fingertips. For example, 1 question carry the 1 mark. You got to get 40 in fact, right? Question correct. If you get 40 question correct, you can get easily 9 band. If you get 39, 38, 8.5, then let's say 37, 36 or more 8, and then 34, 35 I believe, and 33, 7.5, 30 question correct, straight away 7 band. So you need to have a calculation on your fingertips, right? What is the calculation in order to get a 7 band in your listening? So you got a 40 question correct, straight away 7 band. Second, you should not miss a single question. You got to attempt all question. If you miss a question, it's not going to work out. If you do not know the answer, pick the answer. Your luck might work out. It is better to pick the answer rather leaving the answer. And then we need to understand that first we need to read the instruction. If it is written, then your answer should not be more than 2 words. Then your answer should not be more than 2 words. If it is written, let's say your answer should be letter, then you have to write the answer in letter A, B or C. If you write down the word in front of, let's say, whatever you have in front of the A, B, C, whatever, right? If you write down the word, it will be marked wrong. If your answer is more than 2 words, it will be marked wrong. So you got to be very careful while you're reading the instruction. Then underline the key information. In every question, you got to underline 3 to 4 words, because these are very important. Through the word which are underlined, you get the answer. What is logical? That you get listen. You got a section in your hand, you will listen to the conversation regarding, regarding, let's say, the listen, whatever, in fact. So you got a section, for example, you got to listen regarding the section 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, right? You will be listening or read the recording regarding the section. You have to get the answer from the listen. This is very logical. And then you need to understand the paraphrasing and usage of synonym. What is the paraphrasing? One thing is said in another way, in fact. Different words are used. Rephrase, in fact, right? This is a simple word that anything which is said in one way, in fact, it is rephrased, re-explained by using the different word, by using the different vocabularies as well. So synonym means that you got two different words, got the same meaning. Happy, seraphic, you got the same meaning. Happy, overjoyed, got the same meaning. So you need to understand, in fact, right, that synonym, you got a two different words, but you got the same kind of meaning, right? So synonym are used in listening, especially when you got a question MCQ. In MCQ question, generally you come across the paraphrasing. Remember one thing, that whenever you got a question like MCQ, where you got a three options that's an answer, you have to be very careful, because these kind of question you will come across the paraphrasing. It is so important. Then paraphrasing, usage of synonym, you got to use pencil in your listening test, attempt all question right, use a capital or small letter. Your answer should be whether in capital or whether small, or you got to use one case, rather capital, rather small, let's say. And then finally, your spelling should be correct. You're not supposed to make, the spelling mistake. You got to be accurate on the money while you are writing the answers. Your spelling should be correct. And then you got to do the multiple tasks. In one hand, you got to listen very properly, carefully, with a painstaking attention, and then you got to read out the question. You have to move with the speaker. You have to synchronize yourself with the speaker. Remember one thing, that in listening, you got to answer in sequence. You got a first question, you got to answer in first two lines. Second question, you got to answer in next two lines. So you got to be very careful while you are listening, because what generally happens, that you miss the answer, you stuck in one position. You're not supposed to stuck with one position. You have to move forward, because you got to synchronize you with a speaker, because speaker is giving you everything right, and you have to synchronize with the speaker. If you miss the answer, you should not stick in the one position. Jump to the next question, so you should not miss the next answer. So this is so important. So in listening, these are all very important tips and tricks which I have already told you. The test format, in fact, 4 sections. One more thing, that you got a 40 minutes. Remember one thing, that you got a 40 minutes, in fact, a timeline, because in paper page you got a 40 minutes. 30 minutes is official timeline. 10 minutes is given extra, so you need to convert your answer on a answer sheet. Remember one thing, when you give the computer based, right, you are given only 30 minutes because you write your answer on a computer. But in paper based, you are given 40 minutes total right, 10 minutes for converting your answer sheet right, and 30 minutes is the official timeline. So you got to keep it everything in your mind. Strategy very simple. Get 20 out of 20 in first two sections. Next two sections, I'm not saying that you got to make 10 mistakes in next two sections. What I'm saying, that even if you make 8 to 10 mistakes in your next two sections, still you can manage 7 band quite easily in listening. So you got to be very accurate, and you got to be on the money. So hopefully that you will keep this everything in your mind. And once you kick in your listening test today, right, you will prove yourself that you got to acquire the skills and ability required now, so next, and you can clinch quite easily 7 band. Thank you very much.